What's going on, YouTube? Is Donnie B all day bringing you another versus, kind of like a which one should I buy type segment. Here we have the Buck Mesa, and here we have the Hen and Rooster model HR-5010 or the 5010. If you are looking for a camp knife or a short buoy, something, you know, with no bigger than a 6-inch blade, no smaller than a 5-inch blade, then these two very, very capable knives are two that you should be looking into. I'm going to go over them real quick, and I'm not going to tell you the price because I totally didn't look and I forgot, but I think I picked this one up for around 30 bucks on eBay, and this one might have been around the same. So either way, you're looking at sub 50, no doubt about it, sub 50. And both blades are going to give you above 50 quality, and that's a very good thing. We're going to begin with the sheaths, so let me put these beautiful blades aside, and we're going to go over this. The Buck Mesa has a polypropylene sheath that is ambidextrous. All right, you can switch that around, and that's awesome. You have line holes, you have not tie down hole. Right here is the water escape hole, so water doesn't sit in there. You even have jimping on the sheath, so you can pull it out with your thumb. This is a great sheath. I'm a leather sheath fan. Hen and Rooster makes a wonderful leather sheath. It came with a snap, but I cut it off because, I'll show you why. It's a friction hold. There was no need for the snap. It was just in the way, and another thing to do, but this sheath is great. As much as I am a leather sheath fan, especially a very well-made leather sheath fan that smells amazing, I honestly like this one better, and the reason is because it is ambidextrous, it does have some of the extras, and it's polypropylene, which any cold steel fan knows that polypropylene is nearly indestructible. This stuff is amazing. So while it is like a plastic, and this one is a high grade fine leather, as much as I love this, I have to give the sheath props to Buck on that. So now let's go over these blades. This one with the hammer end, I want to say it's like 11 1/4, 11 1/8, somewhere in there. It's just over 11. The blade is 6 inches from, you know, here up, and this one is 9 1/2 long with a 5-inch blade. Now this one does have an extended pommel, right? You'll see it's full tang. They're both full tang. This one comes out right here, so you have a bit of a hammer, but the linen micarta is so close to that if you're using it as a hammer, unless you're hitting something dead flat or round, that's, you know, convex, there's a good shot you're going to end up dinging up your grip. Where this one, the lanyard hole is actually in the hammer, and the hammer sticks out far enough to where you can slam away and not have to worry about things. Plus the fact that this grip is rubber, you're not going to really damage it. Let's talk about the grips. This grip is ugly as sin. I mean, look at it. Black rubber grip with all these like these scaled lines here. It is homely. That's an ugly grip. However, this is one of the most comfortable grips I've ever felt. This little thumb ramp right here is I guess you can call it jimped. It's rubber jimping, I guess. But holy crap, it has a nice cushiony flex to it. So shock absorption is there. No hot spots because this has got such a great feel to it. The shape is nice. These are two knives, and the reason I really wanted to bring these two out together is because of handle shape. While this one is ugly and this one is gorgeous, they both have great shape. Now you'll notice it starts out up here and it bows in, then it swells out, then it bows in, and then it swells out again. Now the swell out here is small, where the swell out here, this is one of the finest shaped handles I've ever seen. This thing is wonderful. You know, it's like literally like a woman, you know what I mean? It goes down, you know, here's your hips, your thigh coming down around the knee. Bam, it's like a perfect leg. This thing is sweet. Now, the only issue I had when I first picked it up by itself, I'm thinking this is one of the most comfortable knives I've ever held. But then I hold this one and I think, okay, now it's kind of a decision. But that also comes down to hand size. I have giant hands. If you have smaller hands, this thing is going to be the greatest knife you've ever held as far as comfort. If you're a bigger hand guy, you're going to appreciate the girth on this guy right here. And I would say medium to double extra large hands are going to appreciate this. And, you know, and then medium to extra small hands, you're going to appreciate this. Even a large hand guy, though, will find great comfort in this, because I have double X hands and I find really, really good comfort in here. One of the good things about the screws that hold on these scales, you'll see how it's indented in, they're far. When I put my pinky on there, it just adds a little something. It just adds a little something to that grip. Now, right here on the spine is some jimping. I just went off camera. The jimping is so tucked in there that it almost doesn't matter. There's a slight ramp. You can see that little bump. So it does give you grip. But one thing I absolutely love is right here. This finger grip at the end, right? This turnout is awesome. It is so, so nice. This one has it here. It's rubber. And again, it's so, so nice. But the difference is this one has sharper edges. And I don't want to say sharp edges as like a deterrent, like that's bad. No, it's sharper than rubber. But it's comfortable in the hand. This one has just got flex. You can sink your freaking meat into it. Really, really nice. Blade for blade, obviously you can see the difference in size. It's evident. The difference in cutting edge is going to be about an inch. Neither are choiled. However, this one has this weird cut right here that provides a really, really good seat for when you need to do some fine-tuned work. This one does not. If you put your hand on there, you're on the edge. The good thing is that little guy right there, I can put the crease of my finger on top of that, and now I'm not touching the edge. However, I'm just a millimeter away from slipping onto it. Where this one, I'm pulled back far enough away. I don't even know if you can see. You can see, yeah, you can see how far away I am, and it's a really sturdy grip. So, grip for grip, this is, you know, linen micarta, and it's gorgeous. The shape is gorgeous. I prefer to look at this grip all day long over this one. This one is just ugly as sin, but comfort for comfort and purpose for purpose with all the soft texturing and these snake belly scales, I have to say the grip is better, and it pains me to say that because this is so attractive. The grip is better on this knife. Now, steel for steel, this is a 420 HC, right? Both are high carbon steels. This is a German stainless, which is pretty much 1095 high carbon, right? This this blade right here is just nearly undamageable. They're both hollow grind, but this is a much thinner hollow grind. If it comes down to needing to chop, you are going to chop with this much better than you are, not just because of size, but just because of blade strength. This one being as fine as it is, you're going to sink in to things no problem, but it is no way a chopper. This thing is not a chopper either. It's a small camp knife. However, you can chop, you can baton, you can do a lot of things with this knife than you can't with this knife, and a lot of it comes down to this. Look at, see if I can get my face out of there. Look at the difference in the girth in these two steels. This is a pretty thick blade, and it's hen and rooster strong. The thing is fantastic. Both have a false edge. This one obviously is a lot longer than this one. It goes from here to here. That one goes from there to there. Neither are sharpened, so both still you can use. But that that false edge is really good for, you know, sticking. It's gonna enter things a lot smoother than something without a false edge. Just makes it easier for penetrating. These knives fit and finish. There's not much to talk about fit and finish here. This is one of their low-end fixed blades because it's just a black rubber handle on a nearly polished blade. This one is low priced because it's, well, I don't know, it's thin, it's small, and it's got this coating. Buck doesn't usually take you too much on price. They're pretty good about their prices. So is Hen and Rooster, unless you're talking about their folding trappers where you're $300 for a knife this big, but it's some of the best. But I have to say, fixed blades with Hen and Rooster are priced very, very well. So here, yeah, it's a coated 420 HC. Very, very good. You want the coating because it helps prevent rust. However, as you can see, I use this and that coating comes off pretty easy. This one, I use an equal amount and you can see the difference and wear on the blades. This one holds up a lot better, but telling you and showing you two different things, like I always say. So let's go use these guys right here. Hold on. All right, it's not a knife review if we don't get them wet a little bit. So we're gonna start with the Buck Mesa in an aluminum can. Right in half, no problem, no real push, just an easy slice. Now the Hen and Rooster. That's almost dead identical. The bottom stayed here, the tops went there. They both emptied out of water. Perfect. All right, let's keep going here. All right, so let's drop these. We'll check the balance, then we'll check the bite. First things first, you want to see if the heel is gonna roll over, and it's getting kind of windy here, so that might affect things. But you can see they both took an angle. But I mean, oh Jesus, they're both in there pretty good. I just dropped them. Let's try that again. I'm gonna go a little bit higher, and that one, you can see the rear is pulling. Same as this. The balance points on this are pretty heavily to the rear. This one's actually past the first lug, and the reason is because of that giant flare out. This one is let's see, just wow. Let's try it the real way. Actually, best way to test the balance is to give it something to balance on. So let's see, this is boring right there. So it's just past where the handle and the blade come together, so right around there. So it's definitely favored to the rear. Let's check the bite. So that should be a pretty easy pickup there, but the bite is freaking fantastic. Now this one bit in a lot more, but it's bigger and heavier, so that's probably why. Now, being a hollow grind and thin at the tip, I'm not going to pry with this. There's no way in hell I'm going to risk ruining my Buck Mesa, because I love this knife, just for a little bit of prying. This guy, however, I have no fears of doing a little prying. And what is this good for? Now, if you're in the woods and you're stuck and you're starving and you got some mussels laying there, you're on a coastline on a beach somewhere, boom, you can pry open mussels with a knife like this, no problem. Could you do it with this? Yeah, I mean, I don't like prying with it. I told you I wasn't going to, but I'm an ass. It's capable, you just don't want to go crazy. You push in too hard on something where it's too tight, you try for too much flex, you're going to snap this tip. This one, can you break it? Of course, it's steel, it can break, but you're less likely to break this one than that one. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty. Okay, so here, I'll put this down here. Here's some rope. Pretty simple, right? Same rope. Pretty simple. It's just, sharp knives are the greatest knives. Now, as far as chopping, this one seared through a lot better than this one. So the Hen and Rooster chopped through the rope a lot better. However, this one sliced through the rope a lot better. This one has a much thinner edge profile, so that's going to happen. You're going to get a finer cut out of this one than you will this one, but both are going to cut through immaculately, and both you can actually skin with. So just because they're short buoys or, you know, small camp knives, don't think you can't skin with either of these, because either one will make a very, very capable skinning knife. Let's continue. All right, so we're going to do light chopping, and when I say light chopping, I mean we're not going to go crazy, because I told you before, this is not a chopper. But does that mean it cannot chop? If you are in an emergency or in a bind, and this is hardwood, I would rather do this on pine, things like that, but it's not a review if I don't show you whole, you know, what it can and cannot do. But if you're not slamming this blade into things, it's going to survive. And you're seeing that I'm taking very, very small amounts of wood away with this knife. It is not at all a chopper. Same area, same density of wood, and you can hear the difference. You can hear how solid this blade connects with the wood. I'm not swinging any harder. It's just a better chopper, right? So a better slicer definitely goes to the buck. A better chopper, better penetrator is going to go to Hen and Rooster. Just a really, really very, very good camp knife. Very, very good short buoy. And so is this one. This one's a very, very good camp knife. Very, very good short buoy. Strength for strength, capability for capability. Gosh, I mean, it's hard to beat a Hen and Rooster. And as ugly as this one is, you know, aside from this one's absolute beauty, this thing so far, I mean, it's just so rugged and badass. Love them both. Let's go test some more here. Man, the rain is coming. All right, so let's work this edge here. Let's work this edge. Oh my gosh, that is what this knife is made for. And if it's not, well, they need to change what it was made for, because holy crap, this thing is a great shaver. All right, so let's get something going here. The thing with slicing with this is it wants to go in. It just wants to bite. It's a very, very, very fine edge. And it just does such a good job. Such a good job at working the edge. So let's compare it to this guy right here. And we are going through. It's a completely different kind of slice. Is it going through with ease? Hell yeah, it is. There is no problems cruising through the wood with this knife. That one just feels different. You know what I mean? You can tell by the feel. And this one, instead of getting some Nike symbols, because of the shape, because of the edge profile and the shape of it, you're getting crazy curls, doing it the same way, the same speed. As far as if I needed to shave a point into something, I'm using this. If I needed to cut it off of the tree to shave the point into it, I'm using this. It's like, you know, what do? Feather sticking? It's tough. If you want tight little curls, man, I'm going to use this. If I want some nice Nike symbols, I'm going to use this. Really, really, you know, hard to discern which is better when it comes time to those kind of tasks, because each one is better individually at certain aspects of the same kind of tasks, you know. So that's kind of a gamble right there. It's what are you looking for, you know, what are you needing it to do? all around this guy right here, but just shaving and slicing, woo-wee. All right, let's keep going. So y'all know we weren't about to finish this day without giving them a toss. So let's give each one a 5 yard. Hopefully we can first time them. Not too sure because they're both very different. I'm gonna try to work the flight. Let's see how they go. That was the hen and rooster. No, well, it's stuck in. It's just stuck in the dirt, and that's the buck. Let's try that again. All right, so there we have it. If I threw this one first, it might have been a little easier, but since I threw this one first, you know, the change in weight. If I threw this one first and stuck it, then this one might have taken 2 times. Who knows? As far as throwing though, this guy is definitely the better thrower. I can say that not just because of what we just did here, but because, you know, I've thrown this shit a lot. This one I throw a lot less just because the tip is thinner, and I love this knife so much that I don't want to break it. You know what I mean? If a knife breaks, I buy a new one. That's what it is. Or, well, with a company like this, the service is great. So I mean, I could always just get a new one from them anyway. But man, all right, let's go put them on the rack. I didn't pause it, guys. Don't you hate when you try to press stop and you miss? Annoying. But anyway, here we are on the rack with 2 very formidable camp knives. These things are both awesome. Now, it's extremely rare when there's no clear winner. You'd always think that, okay, one is definitely better than the other. Like I did a video comparing the Ontario Rat 7 to the Becker BK7. Watch that video. If you're watching these videos and you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I do a ton of this crap. But as far as a clear winner here, I have to give it to the Hen and Rooster. Without a doubt in my mind, it's the more solid knife all around. Does that take a fraction of anything away from the buck? Hell no. That buck is running toe-to-toe with an amazing camp knife. As ugly as the Hen and Rooster is, dude, what happened to my... as ugly as that Hen and Rooster is, and as beautiful as that buck is, I'll tell you what, man, it just proves that it doesn't always matter what they look like. That Hen and Rooster model 5010 is not only crazy affordable, and so is the buck. I do believe that was sub 40, as a matter of fact. Not only are very affordable, but just awesome. I mean, you aren't going to find too many short buoys or too many 6-inch and under camp knives that are going to perform as equally and as well as these two. And there's a lot out there. There's the Condors, and you got some SEs, and you got some Tops, and you got a whole bunch of blades out there. As far as these two, though, comparing nut to nut, one to the other, I'm going to tell you right now that this Hen and Rooster is the better buy. Does that mean you buy the buck and regret it? Not a chance. Not even close. If you buy that buck, you're going to own it and you're going to love it. It's a fantastic knife. And if you're one of those people that comes down to, you know, you want the prettier knife or the more capable knife, well, then that's going to be your decision. However, when I say more capable, let me tell you, it's a very short margin when talking about which one's more capable and which one's not. Where the big margin it comes down to is literally just looks. That buck is simply beautiful. Anyway, got no more than that. If you guys can't figure out by this video what I'm talking about, then whew, I don't even know. I am Donnie B all day, and until next knife.